Let's talk about something you won't hear on Sundays, a contradiction hiding in plain sight. In Numbers 23:16, the Lord met Balaam, put a word in his mouth, and said, "Return to Balak and say this." So Balaam speaks, "God is not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should change his mind." In other words, God is not like us, not flawed, not flesh, not capable of deceit, not capable of changing his mind. Let's break this down. In the New Testament, it flips the script. The Word becomes flesh. Son of man this, and son of man that. Whoa. Suddenly God is walking around Galilee, bleeding, weeping, eating fish. If God said he's not a man, but then became one, was he wrong before? Or are we forcing the pieces to fit? And it gets more complicated. Did Jesus lie? Let's look at 5 examples and you be the judge. Number 1, I'm not going to the festival. In John chapter 7, verse 8, Jesus tells his brothers, I'm not going to the festival. And then 2 verses later, he goes in secret. People say, it wasn't a lie, it was strategy. But if your spouse or pastor did that, would it fly? Number 2, this generation will not pass. Jesus also said this generation will not pass away until all these things are fulfilled. Are any of the people he was speaking to still alive? If he didn't mean generation, why did he say generation? Do we redefine fulfilled to make it fit or admit it doesn't? Number 3, you will not finish. Jesus said, you will not finish going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. This was spoken to his disciples during their mission. They clearly did finish going through Israel, and the Son of Man in apocalyptic glory did not come. Number 4, thus it is written. Later Jesus says, thus it is written, the Messiah will suffer and rise on the 3rd day. Problem is, it isn't written, not anywhere in the Hebrew Bible. Number 5, I said nothing in secret. In John chapter 18, Jesus tells the high priest, I've spoken openly to the world, I said nothing in secret. But in an earlier gospel, Jesus said this, to those outside everything is said in parables so that they may be ever seeing but never perceiving, otherwise they might turn and be forgiven. Jesus says he deliberately speaks in confusing ways so his people don't understand. Doesn't this contradict the idea of openly offering salvation? If salvation is for all, why hide the truth? Is hiding the truth on purpose from sincere seekers deception? Secrecy continues in Mark 8 and in Matthew chapter 13, raising even more questions. But back to the main topic. Does God change his mind? Well, in Genesis chapter 6, verse 6 through 7, we see the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man whom I have created from the face of the land, for I am sorry I have ever made them. How do we reconcile a God who never changes with one who says, I regret? After all, this is the same God who later says, I do not change. If God can't lie and Jesus is God, then how do we explain all this? If prophecy can't miss, can divinity still stand? What do we do when the red letters don't deliver? I'm not asking you to lose faith, just asking, can it survive the questions? If this made you think, like and subscribe and we'll peel away the next layer.